Hello everybody, we continue to series of videos about possible Trump recruitment and his possible ties to Russia, and there is an analysis of something from this Friday meltdown in Oval Office that maybe was overlooked by somebody, but Michael Sellers, he is, he's writing about it. Lost in the craziness of the mind-boggling Oval Office meltdown yesterday between Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was Trump's impassioned defense of Vladimir Putin. Visibly angry at a question about whether Putin could be trusted, Trump went off on a rant that bears close scrutiny. And then there is a rant. I will try to read it, but it's just really difficult. And if you would like to hear it, just find this part in this altercation, in all these things that happened in Oval Office. Okay, I will try to read. Putin has been through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. He is speaking just like in in company he's speaking in slogans right now. I mean, you ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. The scam of Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. He's just, speaking with, as if he is still on his tour for election tour. That was a Democrat scam, and Putin had to go through it. Putin, we should be so sorry for Putin that because he was accused in interfering in elections. He was interfering in every election he could. I mean, we Ukrainians know it because he was interfering in our elections. He was interfering in Romanian elections. He was interfering in French elections, in UK elections, in every election he could. He interfered. So I mean, he was so hurt by the allegations that he could might have helped Trump to get his first his first presidency. It is when everybody was openly celebrating in 2016 when Trump won in Russia, and I think Margarita Simonyan, this head editor and chief of Russia Today, she said that she will put an American flag and will in her car and will driving around the Red Square with American flag because of Trump's victory. So he was their man from the very beginning. Okay, but because he was restrained during his first presidency, he couldn't achieve much of what he couldn't destroy America when he first was elected president, because there were some people who were not allowing him to do so, and he got rid of those people, and then he actually consolidated. He just browbeaten everybody in Republican Party. They are afraid of him. They are really, really mortally afraid of him. They could not open their mouth to say to give any pushback to him. Okay, and Putin had to go through it, and he did go through it, and we didn't end up in a war. So because he was Putin accused of election interference, he should declare war to United States? What the crazy idea is that? And he went through it, okay? He was accused of all that stuff. He was accused of all that stuff, that he was trying to interfere with United States elections. He had nothing to do with it. Really, really. So think about it. Sitting there in Oval Office next to US ally who has been invaded, suffering naked aggression of the hands of Putin, he shows nothing but scorn for our ally and empathy towards and solidarity with the Russian invader. By doing this, Trump positioned himself not as an adversary of Putin, defending American interests and interests of American ally, or defending American ally, but rather as a compatriot to the Russian leader, whom he characterizes as a man who had endured shared trials alongside Trump. And really, all these all these grievances this Trump have, he's heard that somebody was saying that in 2016 he won with Russia's help. Okay, not giving him victory for him alone. Okay, he's so hurt, and this is so petty. I mean, it is unimportant to anybody, but to Trump it means that, I mean, it was such a hurtful thing that he's still suffering from it. He's still saying about that 9 years later. It is such a little person. I'm just lost for words. I'm sorry, guys. Trump's articulated this perspective in such raw, visceral terms is stunning, especially considering Russia's documented interference in US elections and its naked aggression against Ukraine, America's supposed and actual ally. Trump's choice of words is extremely revealing and suggests a deep personal identification with Putin, a bond of brothers who have gone through hell together. This is next level and noteworthy. I would argue that Trump's lamentation on behalf of Putin completely shifts the narrative from holding a foreign adversary accountable for heinous crimes against the Ukrainian people to instead portraying Putin as a victim of unjust persecution. This reframing not only absolves Russia of its documented actions, but also aligns Trump's grievances with those of Putin. They are comrades, shoulder to shoulder, victims of scam attacks. I'm still absorbing the full impact of this escalation by Trump. I'm genuinely struck by the visceral passion with which he defended Putin. He clearly has a deeply, acutely felt view that Putin is a victim of the same forces that have gone after Trump. He even seemed to feel guilty for having put Putin through some discomfort. Never mind that Putin has put Ukraine through. Never mind what Putin has put Ukraine through. Does this passion for Putin prove that Trump is some kind of controlled Russian asset? No. He's acting more like a fanboy than a recruited agent, who would be expected to show some discipline. By regardless of what kind of label is hung on the relationship, what today's performance did was effectively kill any possibility that Trump is not completely in the tank for Putin in a deeply personal, heartfelt way. He is all in and no longer feels constrained to keep his feeling under wraps. Okay, you understand that because of he feels that his grievances, his petty grievances that Trump has right now are the same grievances that Putin has suffered. He's actually, I don't know, is it a bubble or what it is, but I can see that quite a lot of people are in bubble together with him, unfortunately. And they are saying things that are really hurtful to Ukrainians. such callousness, such lack of empathy, of just human decency that they portray, invokes this notion of ugly Americans. And tell you what, guys, I was somewhat understanding to some supporters of Trump. I also was buying this story that people just felt neglected by this so-called how it is called elites that are on the shores of the eastern shore of the eastern part of US and the western part, and there is a flyover country. So I felt for this flyover country, for people who were lacking the representation and were scorned, and I thought that they have real grievances. But I never lived in one country with such people. I never was acquainted with them. And what I see from them, what I see from what they are saying, it is very, very similar to what Russian vatniks say. I mean, not the words, but the overall attitude to life, that we don't know anything, but we at the same time know everything better than anyone else. And somehow, this a little bit whens this guy who is now somehow vice president of the United States, when he said that I saw stories. He reveals that he knows nothing, he doesn't want to know anything, but at the same time he thinks that he knows everything. And he can tell that other people are wrong, as he was telling to President Zelensky, that Zelensky, who is in the thick of this war for 3 years already, that he is wrong about this war. Yeah. So I think that those, I don't want to call them rednecks, people from flyover country, they are very, very they have very limited outlook, and they are proud of it, and they don't want anything to do about it, but they think that they have the right to dictate to others what they should think, what should they do, and the rest. And it is really, really ugly, and it is really, really resembling the way Russian behaves. That's why I think there is such an affinity between them, because they are ugly Russians and ugly Americans are uniting. And again, guys, I'm not calling every American ugly. I calling these guys who behave in such a manner like Vance behaved to our president on Friday. Okay, or how they behave to President of Poland, Andrzej Duda, he came to them. He was their best ally in Europe. They were more American-oriented country, the most American-oriented country in Europe. But he was, he was dealt with as some kind of a vassal from some third-rate country, and Poland is not third-rate country. We have some grievances with Polish. We have long history of and sometimes bloody history with Polish people, and I personally blame this Polish I don't know English word for this, arrogance, probably Polish arrogance to what happened between Poland, Belarus, Litva, Ukraine, and Russia back in history. I don't want to go to that, but Polish is really strong economical country with really good army, and they are rearming as hell. They are not third-rate country, but they behaved first. They didn't meet him. Then they made him wait for 90 minutes, 1.5 hours. He was waiting in the somewhere, and then they just gave him a short 15-minute talk and just dismissed him, as if he's some subordinate. He has nothing else to do, and they are very busy and very important people. He is important person from strongest ally of United States in Europe. But because of this attitude, he was they deemed possible to behave in such a way towards the Polish president, Andrzej Duda, who is actually, I mean, he's not really a friend of Ukraine. He is from right-wing party, which is I just cannot describe the stupidity of this behavior. Okay, thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and then we will continue, I think, with further videos about this topic. Thank you. Bye. Слава Україні!